Hello, how's everybody? Yeah, today I had to get the tripod because my tripod broke a little bit. Something broke. So after work, I had to go get a tripod. Anyway, seems like everything is all right. I want to get a real nice one, but they only had this one. So I went to Walmart's. But this is one thing while I was walking, I was thinking, always thinking about certain things. And one thing that always was on my mind, and I don't know if you noticed it, but I was thinking about it while I was doing the last few videos. It was like, how can we do this? I mean, like, all the things that happen is like so unreal. I mean, how could we take it? You know what I mean? And that's another video because remember from the last videos, I was talking about making a video about the makings of a ex-jehovah Witness, but it was so big that I had to, like go at it, like continue to how can I say, build on the subject because it's a big subject. But there was one point that I could never grasp, and I got it. But I remember when the one video where I talk about, let me see, which one was it? Where I talk about how we can't talk about it unless I find out exactly which video. But what I wanted to stress, I remember it's the video that, where I say that it's hard to forgive. It's hard to I mean, your family member. I mean, not all Jehovah Witnesses not all Jehovah Witnesses live double lives. And then I said, and it's hard to forgive your family members for not talking to you. Things like that. But there was always one point hanging, okay? And I'm always going through the boxes, and on this one, I was saying, like, how was it when it happened to me? When I was a Jehovah Witness, what was my mindset when my friends got disfellowship, or when my family members got disfellowship? I mean, like, I know that I wanted to talk to my brother, and I went to talk to him, like, when he was at the assembly. And even my sister, when she was not doing good. Only she wasn't, I don't know if she was fellowshipped or whatever, but she was with my brother. She was living with my brother, and he was fellowship. And at the assembly, they sat together, and I went over and I talked to them. This is how I was. I mean, but even though I went over and talked to them, they still got this fellowship, and I still dealt with it internally the same as all Jehovah Witnesses. But I asked him, did they want any coffee? And he goes, yeah. And I went to go get them coffee, and then my stepfather says, you can't talk to him. I said, I just went to go get them coffee. You know what I mean? And what type of person was he? You know what I mean? It's supposed to be family. But anyway, that's the way it goes. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is when they read the letter for my brother, when they read the letter for my cousins, when I heard that they were getting disfellowship, I had to be just like all the other Jehovah's Witnesses. And this is where I got the point that we were missing. I'm almost sure we were missing. I know I was missing it. Because in the letter, when they read the letter, they always say, do not to talk about it and do not discuss it amongst each other. And it might sound like a small point, but that's the big point. That's the point that I was looking for, because I was saying, how in the world can your family members do this? And now I understand better, because we're suffering and we contend. It's like in our brain or in our mind, we have this compartment that just how how can you say, calluses that feeling. Is always there, but you have to kind of like put it like this in your mind and just let it just sit there and just like do whatever it's doing while you're missing them and stuff like that. But they don't have that, because in the letter, and they follow everything that they say, and I did it too. As soon as they read the letter and don't talk about it, you cannot talk about it at all. Even in your family, you notice, we never talked about it. When my brother got disfellowship, we never talked about it. I mean, we never even mentioned it at the house. You know what I mean? When our cousins got disfellowship, never mentioned it. And that's the trick. It doesn't exist. These people don't exist. What you put in your mind when they say don't say anything at all, that means you just numb yourself and just go, we can't talk about it. There's nothing. These people, they don't even go into your mind. And that's how I felt. When my friends got disfellowship, it's just like, it's gone. It's over with. Don't say anything to because you can't talk to anything about anybody. I know some people probably do, but you can't say anything about what they did. You can't say this, you can't say that. So it's just like shut, book closed, shut, nothing else. And that's the point that I was missing. And you have those who are devout, like I said. So there are those that are devout. And in my family, I would have to say, because these are smart people, it has to be something wrong. It has to be that you just take it, you learn to, and this is something that benefited us as ex-Jehovah Witnesses, which I'm making. I'm developing this YouTube about the ex-Jehovah Witnesses. But that's the point that kept bugging me, is why are these people doing it? And that's, that's what they taught. That's what they taught. And now going back and I can see in myself, I could see where it was just forgotten. Just like you crumble a piece of paper and you put it in the garbage. And that's a short one. This is a short video because it's a powerful one, again, but it's such a little point, but what else can you say? I mean, like, I can see myself now when somebody was in fellowship, and as soon as they said, you're not to discuss anything, you're not to talk about people, talk about them at all, you're not supposed to talk to them. But the trick is, it's just over with, you don't talk about it at all. And it's nothing there. That's what I mean. I mean, like, now, if you think about what they're thinking about, nothing. I mean, nothing. It's just like throwing a part of your brain away. There was one point that I said, remember, now we out here, because we have control of our minds, okay? And that's another thing that makes you like crazy when you leave Jehovah's Witnesses, because you got so much space now, and it's just like a whole bunch, and I say world, but not, I'm forgetting about this world thing because that's their language. So, I'm not really going, I'm going to use it, but I'm not going to make my viewpoints, I'm going to try not to make any of my viewpoints as far as world is concerned. What I'm trying to say, when you leave the Jehovah's Witnesses, you have more space. You have all that space that wasn't used, so you're gonna miss them. And like I said, if you were to say just forget about it, like a comment told me to do it, you can't do it because you're not like that anymore. So what would happen is you would end up killing part of yourself, or just like destroying part of yourself, because you don't have those people around you that are doing the same thing that you're doing. Because in the Jehovah's Witness, all of them are doing it. So, there's another point too. With that, just cutting off is also the reason why they can do it is because we do it for the government. Remember? They said, don't talk about the government. You don't have any government. Forget about the government. That's cut off. When you meet people, forget about it. Only Jehovah Witnesses are going to be your friends. No worldly contacts. Worldly, that's using their language. Your family members, that's not Jehovah Witnesses. You don't associate with them as a family, as a unconditional love. That's cut off. When you go to restaurants, you don't look around and say, oh, what this person is doing. You notice that as a Jehovah's Witness when you go to restaurants, you don't look at other families. You don't look at other people. You don't say, oh, look at it. Oh, look at it. Beautiful. That's a beautiful guy. That's a beautiful girl. Look at that family. Look at that lady with their white dress. You don't do things like that. That's cut off. So it's easy for them to do it because they always did it. But when you come into the world, I mean, I'm using their term, but you know what I'm talking about. But I'm using, let's cut off, I'm saying the world as the beautiful world. When you're in the world, like everybody else, and they're in the world too, but they just separated themselves underground, like I said. So, so when you're in the world and you have your family that doesn't talk to you, you can't do that because you utilize that space. For the government, you utilize the space. They don't even, another thing they kill is charitable causes. Forget about it. The homeless causes, the starving people overseas, the wars that's going on, all that's done with. But when you're here with everybody else and you have everything, if you say I'm going to cut it off, you have to go through problems. You have to say, okay, no, I'm not going to think about them. No, I'm not going to think about them. Or I'm going to do this instead of that. So you're actually kind of hurting yourself, I would think. So the best thing to do is just take the pain because there's nothing else you can do. I'm sorry to say that that's the way I do. I keep it in that little space that we have and just let it just let it happen. I mean, pray to God and He gives you strength to keep going, you know what I mean? So that's it for that one, but that's a big find. It's a big find to me, a big find, and that helps out. I hope it helped you and it helps me because you know the condition that you're facing. Now you know that they don't have the ability. Like my sister, she's really not. I mean, she's really beautiful, but she doesn't have the ability to do anything else. I don't know. I'm glad I found that point, and I hope it helps other people. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.